man. We're here with the Kaskaskia College women's soccer and men's and women's tennis coach Joe Basch. As it's summertime, kind of get that itch to get things going, coach. And 3 different sports. How do you split and manage your time in between, like in-season recruiting, out-of-season workouts? I mean, there's a lot that goes on. How do you prioritize and then manage your time like that?
Well, as far as the recruiting goes, I mean, it's basically, it's kind of a year-round thing. One class finishes, you move right into the next one. And there's an overlap between 2023 class, 2024 class. So we're kind of we're pretty much wrapped up with the 2023 class. A little still more work to do on the women's tennis front, but almost done. And then soccer and boys tennis are done. So we can start having official visits for the 2024 class July 1st. So that's kind of the next step. Start arranging those visits and go from there. As far as the practices, I mean, the good thing for me is the soccer primary season's in the fall, and for tennis it's in the spring. So we kind of mix stuff in like that. Tennis working on their fitness and their strength stuff in the fitness center in the fall, and then soccer kind of does that in the spring. So we're able to kind of split up in the middle. That winter area is kind of both.
So let's start with women's soccer. You've been the only coach in the program's history, perennially one of the best Jucos in the country. Is when you took this job and you started building this program, obviously everybody says, yeah, we're going to win. Did you see this program where it's at, this early in its infancy when you started this program?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first couple years, was definitely a big learning experience for me, especially the first year, and then into the first couple, just getting to kind of understand the other junior colleges, what type of players they have, where they recruit from. Once I kind of got a hold of that, I mean, kind of the big thing was to sell it to the recruits, like, hey, you can be part of something special, you can be part of a new program. This program just started. Luckily, I always say that the second, third year players, those are the ones that really took a risk on us, believed that we were going to be a good program, and they signed on, and then from there we've kind of snowballed from there. But yeah, I mean, it's just we just want to be a consistently strong team. You see teams that over my time, there's been teams that have been really good and really bad and kind of in a roller coaster. We want to stay consistent and keep maintaining a strong tradition, I guess.
So graduated at Centralia High School, track and soccer, and then after going to Marion University, you coached at Macomb. Now you get to come back. Was that a big part of it for leaving Macomb, is to get an opportunity? Was it always a plan to come back home?
I definitely wanted to get out of Indianapolis. That was a big thing. I know my then girlfriend, now wife, we didn't want to raise a family in Indianapolis. We wanted to get back to a smaller community. Macomb kind of worked out in a cool way. It was part of my degree at Marion, was you had to do an internship with an athletic department. So they were lucky enough to, I was lucky they brought me on, and I was able to do a summer internship, and then that kind of transitioned into some coaching, and then had some friends down here, obviously, one that played basketball here, and he kind of had heard some rumblings about soccer, and just worked out well. And definitely, I was born here, so it's great to come back here and have a daughter of my own and raise her in this area for sure.
And so you not only do you wear many hats with the college, but you've also worn many hats outside. You were the Region 24 chair for women's soccer for 3 years or so. Can you tell me what you learned from that and what that specifically entailed? What were your duties there?
The Region 24 chair was something that I was kind of approached about from the previous chair, who was she moved into an administrative role at, I believe, Illinois Central College at the time. It's mainly keeping track of statistics, playoff pairings, yellow and red card accumulations, and then tallying votes and nominations for the all-region teams, and things like that. And you just kind of have a voice in those region monthly meetings. The athletic directors and vice presidents attend.
You talked about recruiting earlier, and it takes a special kind of coach to be able to go out and get the kind of talent you have to get. You can't really get a lot of plug and play right away. You got to get projects because you're that Juco level. What's your mindset going in? What are you looking for specifically when you're out there on the sidelines and watching games?
I mean, you're looking for, I would say, traits. You're looking for things that they excel at. You know, when I come to games, I mean, you're looking for, you know, that player that kind of pops, you know, that player that really stands out but has specific attributes that can translate to college as well. You know, and then obviously, you know, you get those connections with coaches, and I've been fortunate enough now that I've coached at KC for a long time. I mean, just right here, I mean, our assistant coach, Coach Elizabeth, she coaches right here, Salem soccer. So I have a lot of former players that coach high school and club, you know, head coach, assistant coaches. But yeah, I mean, you're really just looking for the girl that, you know, when you're at the game that pops on the field, but then also someone, you know, that's a team player, you know, someone that, you know, isn't just worried about scoring goals, she's worried about assisting. She's someone that, you know, cheers her teammates on. She's someone that is attentive to her coaches, and you kind of throw that all together, and that's what we're really looking for.
We're going to get into tennis now. Your decision to, and maybe it wasn't your decision, but to do 3 sports. Well, how did that come about?
The athletic director at the time was Adam Esses, who's since moved on, but there was our men's program, the coach had to kind of leave during the middle of the school year, and he kind of, you know, brought it up to me, and I was happy to, you know, take it over. You know, I've obviously, like you said, I was a soccer track guy, but I do have a interest in tennis. My dad was an avid tennis player, so I, you know, I have played. I do have some knowledge there. But anyway, and so he just kind of brought it up. I took over the men, and then after that year was over, KC came up with the idea to kind of combine the positions into one, which was kind of a win-win situation. A win for them as far as, you know, solidifying the position, and obviously a win for me to do both. So we basically do all our practices, all our matches together. So I always kind of look at it as one program. We do have some separate matches here and there, but generally it's all one thing.
Some of those separate matches are nationals, and you were fortunate enough not too long ago to have both teams advance on to nationals, including an undefeated season. So that had to be one of the highlights of your career.
It was definitely the craziest few months of my career, because that was coming off of the COVID year. So junior college moved all their sports the second semester. So I had soccer became a spring sport, which it never has been, you know, but it was then, and then tennis was at the same time. So it was crazy. You know, one was the boys were in Texas and the girls were in Arizona, separate weeks, separate trips. So flew out to the girls' tournament in Arizona, came back, and then that weekend was the college graduation, and then the region tournament for soccer, and then that following Sunday, I guess, we drove down to Dallas for the boys tennis. But yeah, it was super exciting. Both teams actually did really well. We had a girl that went really far in the back draw. The boys had some success doubles wise. So we really, I think, represented ourselves pretty well there, and hopefully we get back there this year again too.
And we'll end it on this, but the facilities at Kaskaskia College, from where it was not too long ago to where it is now, has become a huge recruiting tool. Yeah. I know for Coach Barnes and all of those guys. So it's got to be nice to be able to see a facility or a college that's so committed to state-of-the-art facilities to help draw in those students.
Yes, I mean, right now the college is going through a huge renovation, just in general. Athletically, specifically, I think one of the big things that we have that kind of sets us apart from other schools of our size. I think our fitness center is better than, you know, pretty much any school of our type. You know, with the 2-floor building, and then we also have the indoor training building as well. You know, it has soccer goals for soccer, and it's actually lined for a full tennis court. So we could, you know, I guess you could actually have legal matches in there for tennis. So yeah, I think definitely above average from the athletic side of things, and then obviously the whole renovation process is something you can really sell to prospective student athletes.